going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition. Today I'm here to talk about yet another movie in a terrible collab series. Last week we had Blacktastic Media talking about the film Battle of LA. But before that, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Please give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, especially if you already haven't. But if you're coming back to the channel, welcome back once again. However, I'm Mike.
I'm Jacob, once again teaming up with Mike on one of his videos. We've done quite a few collabs on his channel in the past, and today Mike asked me to review, oh boy, Street Racer.
So firstly, I just want to thank Jacob for appearing into this collab, because this movie, however, is made by a film company called The Asylum, which you may remember that I've talked about Titanic 2 on my channel, who's made by them, and of course Battle of LA last week. And this movie is directed by Teo Konuralp. I don't know, I'll put the name down here so you guys can know. So when I check his IMDb credits, this guy hasn't got anything impressive. It's all kind of low budget stuff, so he's probably the right director for this movie.
Street Racer was made in 2008. It was made to capitalize off a movie you may have heard of called Speed Racer, the Wachowski film from 2008 based on that anime. Very divisive movie. Quickly, I'll say Speed Racer's never been one of my favorite movies, but it has a really unique visual style to it, and I respect the movie for that. Street Racer, on the other hand, you think it'd be a knockoff of the Wachowski film Speed Racer, but nope. The movie plays more like a ripoff of the Fast and Furious films, because the movie revolves around street racing, drag racing, there's people racing for pink slips.
So pretty much Jacob's just hit the nail on their head, saying that this movie is very much like Fast and Furious, or try to capitalise on it at the time. I believe especially the movie Tokyo Drift. So myself, I'm not actually a huge fan of Fast and Furious. I've seen a couple of them, and for me, they're kind of just way out there, and especially the believability factor. It's just gone. So for me, it definitely didn't transpire into this movie, and apparently Street Racer is inspired by a true event, but it's got to be the most boringest true event in history. The tough thing about this movie is that sometimes people might see this as it's so bad it's not great, or some people might have this as a guilty pleasure. If you're one of those, I wouldn't know who the hell you are, but you know, fair play. So this is where it's going to get interesting, and we're going to delve deeper into the movie Street Racer, which came out in 2008.
Street Racer is pure and simple just dull. Like, the action sequences are atrocious in this movie. The edits are so obnoxious, especially in the opening scene where our main character wrecks and cripples the kid. Like, the edits are so bad, like, I couldn't tell what was going on because it keeps cutting every 2 seconds. And I didn't know what actually happened until like 20 minutes into the movie. Our main character, Johnny Wayne, no, not that Johnny Wayne, this Johnny Wayne, who looked like a complete clone of Paul Walker in the early Fast and Furious films.
That beginning scene is exactly the setup for this movie. We don't know what the hell's going on. We've got Johnny and we've got a guy called Mitch who are supposed to be friends, and I don't know if they're having kind of like a friendly street race. And then we get kind of like a cut into an inside of a vehicle with this kind of guy who's meant to be a dad figure. And we get kind of like a 13-year-old Justin Bieber sat in the back and they're talking about some food items or something like that. Anyway, one event kind of leads into another. They kind of end up into a crash, and this crash actually, we find out, cripples Justin Bieber, whose name is Danny in the movie, and he's kind of put into a wheelchair in the movie. So as part of this, there's kind of this rookie parole officer, or this kind of guy who's abusing his power, called Riggs, and he's essentially saying to Johnny, right, you're going to help volunteer at a centre, you can also do this job, and when I call you, you're actually going to do street racing to get him back into the world of street racing. And it's just very confusing, because when Johnny gets this job at this auto shop, and then he's also doing this volunteering at kind of like a hospital or like an understaffed doctor's surgery or something like that, he then comes across this Danny, and of course Danny's hot sister, who you know straight away he's going to have some kind of love connection with. And he, throughout this movie, is kind of talking to Danny and saying, oh, look, if you get better, you can drive in this vehicle and you can press your foot on the pedal. Well, firstly, Johnny, why are you encouraging underage driving? I mean, the police are going to pull you over and they're going to be like, okay, well, how old's Justin Bieber in the back here? He's maybe only about 13 years old. Then Johnny's going back to jail without his parole officer threatening him that he's going to jail if he doesn't comply. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, this movie, it's just kind of got a very messy script, and I don't think the script itself knows where it is. Oh, it's probably doing a runner out the door because it doesn't want to be on that movie set because it knows the movie sucks. I mean, the movie itself just doesn't make a lot of sense. And as the film goes on, Johnny's getting dragged back into the street racing. He has this guy called Red, who very much remind me of kind of the sergeant in Battle of Los Angeles, and this kind of like typical old man approach, or inspired by Mickey of the Rocky movies. And they have a bond. Johnny ends up getting kind of like a car, he's building out a scrap, and then he's going to put a bet on at the end to beat Mitch. However, he also wants to get to his parole officer because the parole officer is corrupt and kind of ruining his life. And of course, you can imagine that Justin Bieber's sister Kelly is going to find out that our protagonist Johnny Wayne used to be in prison, and he is essentially helping out, but he is the one who actually caused the car crash because it's never explained until pretty much near the end of the movie. And of course, they're going to fall out, they're then going to make up at the end, and happy ever after, and that's exactly what happens in this movie. So after Johnny and Mitch have this wager right at the end of the film, being like, right, Johnny says, okay, if I'm going to win, I'm going to take your car, I'm going to take £10,000 as well, or, something like that, $10,000, something along those lines. We get this race between Johnny and Mitch. At some point at the start of this end scene, we've got like a police copter flying over this city. So you may be wondering, okay, well, they're looking for like these illegal street races, whatever they're doing. As the street race goes on, which must last maybe 5 minutes or so, if that, this police copter has got this random commentary, and the commentating on the cars turning the exits, and I'm just like, well, how does it know it's like a GT or whatever it is it's going? And it's like, whoa, look at the turn on that corner. Surely that police copter should be swooping down with the lights saying, stop where you are, you're going to be pulled over. They don't. I mean, what the hell is that all about?
I don't think the movie worked, mainly because I was bored throughout. There's a reason why I'm not a big fan of mockbuster movies like this, because most of the time there's just no care put into this movie. I didn't care for any of the characters. The acting was bad. The action scenes were poorly done. The music was obnoxious. I'm not a fan of movies like this. I enjoy me some bad movies every once in a while. There are bad movies that are so bad they're entertaining. That's why I love movies like Cats, for instance, because it's a horrible movie, but I have so much great enjoyment at looking at how awful that movie is. The bad parts of the movie is what make it so entertaining for me.
I mean, just overall, the film sucked. I guess the only kind of positive I've got for this actual movie would be the fact that at least it kind of had like a decent storyline in terms of the case of this kid, Danny, is made disabled, and someone actually trying to help him and inspire him and trying to get him back on his feet to walk again. I guess that's kind of like the only positives of this.
I'm going to give Street Racer a half a star out of 5, and on my 100-point scale, it's getting a 4 out of 100.
So my overall score for the movie is...
Thank you, Mike, for having me on your channel once again. It was interesting seeing this movie. I don't remember much about it after watching it because I was so bored out of my mind watching this movie. But hopefully the next time we collab, we'll talk about a much better movie on your channel. But I know you wanted to review some bad movies because you wanted to explore some. And I'm happy to help you on your quest. I'm sure Mike will leave the links in the description below where you can find me. I also have a YouTube channel of my own where I also do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos, and other fun stuff along the way. I'm Mike, so back to your thoughts on Street Racer.
So yeah, I want to thank Jacob firstly for appearing onto the channel, and I hope you guys like this style of collab. It's certainly something that I wanted to try out for a little while, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Please make sure to check out Jacob's channel. The links below are in the description box. So please go subscribe to his channel, go give him some love. Tell him that I sent you as well. That would be really much appreciated. He does have a lot of content on there. He talks about movies, TV series, and a lot of other fun stuff as well. And he's always posting regular content and always giving really great thorough reviews as well. So definitely check Jacob out. But guys, please give this video a big thumbs up, and again, please hit that subscribe button. And until next week with the next terrible movie collab series, I've been a Z Review, and I'll be seeing you later.